All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to our TC Drive Time podcast today. Today, I have a wonderful guest with us. You know her because she's constantly leading worship for us with Pastor Tim on the stage every Sunday on the praise team. She does a great job. Andrea Carey. So thanks for being with us today for the podcast.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're not nervous, are you?
A little bit.
That's okay. You'll be fine. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, I'm Andrea Carey, and I'm married to Jonathan Carey, and we have 5 kids, 3 girls and 2 boys, ages 3 to 13. So they keep us pretty busy.
It's a quiet house.
Yeah.
Very quiet house. So do you ever struggle to remember the kids' names or call them by different names?
I call them by other kids' names all the time.
Yeah.
Within our family, not like John or Bob, but
sure. Yeah, just random kids out in the world. Yeah, that's good. Don't do that. All right. Well, tell us about what you do in life, the season of life, stage of life that you're in right now.
So I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm really blessed to be able to get to do that. I love getting to stay home with my kids, and we homeschool them. So I'm home every day with them, teaching them, and it's not always easy. It can be challenging, but I love it so much that it's completely worth it, and I wouldn't want to do anything else. And I'm just grateful that I get to be home with them and just spending the day with them and seeing them grow up and teaching them about Jesus.
That's cool. Did you know you were going to be a teacher?
Well, I wanted to be a teacher, and I have my degree in teaching,
okay.
And I even taught for a few years, until Evie was 3 and I was pregnant with Will, and but my heart was always to want to stay home, and we weren't financially able to do that until I was pregnant with Will, but then
sure.
Ever since then I've been home. So
yeah, very, very private school, right?
Yeah.
Your family, which is cool though. The Lord took something that you loved or wanted to do, but redirected it in a unique way, which is cool.
Yeah.
So tell me about your faith, how you came to faith, and where Jesus really falls into your life.
So I'm very blessed to have been raised in a Christian home and have godly parents that love Jesus and raised me and my brother, and they, have served and still serve faithfully in ministry, and they've taught us how to do that. And I asked Jesus into my heart when I was about 5 years old in children's church, and I've just followed him ever since. But I feel like my faith really became my own in college, when I went off to school, away from home, away from Mom and Dad, and a secular university. And
where did you go?
I went to Eastern Kentucky University.
Okay.
And God just really had his hand on me. He surrounded me with a group of godly girls, and we're still close today. We still keep in touch, just being on my own, not super far away from home, but still away, and still choosing, to follow after the Lord. And then even in this stage of life that I'm in, I feel just over the past couple years, like I've grown even closer to the Lord, and that's just come out of just consistently spending time with the Lord each day and getting up early. I've really had to make that commitment to do that. I'm naturally a morning person, so that's not the hard part.
Ugh.
But the hard part is how I choose to spend that time.
Yeah.
And I have to make, the choice to spend it with the Lord. And he's just really, over the last couple of years, given me a deep desire for that time with him, and I really cherish it.
So everybody has a different definition of being a morning person. I think some people think, hey, I woke up at 11 a.m. What does what time are you talking about?
So I get up at 6 in the morning.
6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Marty and I, we used to not wake up early like that at all. And then the kids, and Ozias, he likes to cry. He wakes us up almost steady every morning at 6 o'clock. So
Yeah.
I'm up. Now, do the kids wake up?
No, I purposefully get up before they get up.
Okay.
So they're usually up around 7:30 or 8. So I have...
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I'm envious. Can I say that? I'm envious. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's great. So you have a good solid hour to an hour and a half.
Yes.
Man.
Yeah.
That's like gold.
Yeah.
That's
And
great.
when I don't have that, I can tell.
Sure.
I need that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Me too. And I tell every day about myself. College, I've worked a lot with college students, and it is a reality. It is a truth that there comes that moment where it becomes your own. You're faced with so many things of the world that you're being taught. You're by yourself. You're at school. You meet people, and those friends that you form, they don't have the same kind of backgrounds, and there really is that navigating through faith in college that I think a lot of people go to. That's why I have a heart for college students and young adults, because there's a lot of people in your place. I'm glad you came to, your faith got stronger, which is
I
good.
feel like I had a really good foundation,
Mm-hmm.
to build on, and that's really what helped me.
That's great. And I think we say it a lot here, and we mean it. I think I mean it more than I ever have because I have my own kids, but we want so many of our children to have an early faith and to maintain that faith all their life. We don't want the stories necessarily. We're thankful. We're grateful for the stories where God redeems, turns somebody's story around, and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, the strong, the powerful story that I want is that the babies are growing up, they become a Christian at an early age, and they walk with the Lord all the days of their life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's great. So the kingdom, obviously, if you grew up in faith, in a Christian home, you contribute to the kingdom. How do you contribute to the kingdom at this stage of your life?
And I feel like the biggest way is just through my kids. And, Jonathan and I, we feel like we're raising up an army for the Lord. And that's my passion too, is I don't want to leave any one of my kids behind. I want to see all of them, follow Jesus through their whole lives and, spend eternity with him. And so that's the biggest motivation. That's why I get up early every morning and spend time in prayer for them. And that's my prayer, is that they'll come to know Jesus at a young age and follow him all the days of their life. And I'll do anything to see that happen.
Sure. So on that note, on doing anything, what does that practically look like? What are some things? So you pray for them in the morning. What are some other things that you might do to make sure that they're equipped?
So one of the benefits of homeschooling is, getting to teach them the Bible and incorporating that into our school time. And we spend a lot of time studying godly character and how we can apply that to our lives. And as a family, every night we have devotional time together, and we're reading a passage from the Bible and talking about how we can apply it to our lives, and spending time in prayer as a family every night, before the kids go to bed. And we think those are good ways to.
Sure. Is that an organic thing, or is there like a set time that you've set where you are going to meet for that time?
It's set every night, right before the kids go to bed. We all gather in the living room, and Jonathan reads the devotional, and then in our family, each kid has a specific day of the week, and so we actually spend whichever day it is for that kid. We spend that night with them. We have one-on-one time with them after the other kids go to bed. And that just we started that a few years ago, and that just came out of wanting to be intentional about spending one-on-one time with each kid. Having a large family, sometimes it was feeling like, hey, this one's not getting that much attention, And so if we know that this is going to happen every night, that Monday night we're going to, play a game with Natalie, and then pray over her. And, I think that really helps.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Because, Marty and I, we have 2 kids. So we don't have a larger family. I know you'll have 15. So I think there's trying to figure out. Yeah, that's a great idea because there are people with larger families constantly under that pressure trying to figure out what to do. So to take a night and say, this one's yours, this one's yours. It gives attention to the child. It's a great idea. I love that. So besides that, what else besides leading devotions, where you're reading from Lamentations or Numbers to the children, or Leviticus, right? What are other things that you do in your faith besides being a mom to your children and raising up an army? What are other things that you do to contribute to the kingdom, to the church, all the kind of stuff like that?
Well, we actually are doing something this month, through the month of December. We're kind of doing like an Advent calendar in reverse. And so I assigned something that we'll do each day of the month that we'll do for someone else. And this month we're actually, with the kids, we're studying generosity and just how we can be a blessing to others. And so we've taken flowers to a shut-in here at church. And yesterday we took some cans of food to the local food bank. And I'm just trying to teach them to just have a generous heart and to show kindness to others.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
You're putting me to shame here. No, it really is an encouragement. It's good ideas, and I think that's why we share things like this, because there's probably somebody listening or watching right now, and they're in the same boat. But to have practical ideas on what to do with kids, Christmas time. When the calendar presents itself for things like that, then use the calendar year for that to teach them the faith, teach them generosity, teach them kingdom values and stuff. So it's a great idea. Trinity Chapel, you go here. You've been coming here for how long?
Let's see. I think it was 2012.
Okay.
Yeah, when we moved back and started.
Yeah, because in the context there is Jonathan attended here.
Yes, Jonathan grew up in this church.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, so y'all moved away and did ministry, right?
Mm-hmm.
For how long?
Yeah, for about 6 years. We were youth pastors in Lebanon, Kentucky.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you moved back in 2012, and if you watch online, if you're watching this, you can go to any service, and there's like a 99% chance you're going to be on the praise team, which is great. Tell us about that. Tell us about how you serve here at the church, and why do you do those kind of things?
Yeah, so I love serving on the worship team, and I've started doing that right away when we moved back to Louisville. Playing the piano some, but mostly singing, and I love leading people into worship, and I just love worshiping Jesus myself, and so it just is natural for me to want to lead others into the presence of the Lord. And I've been doing that, I guess, about 10 years now. And then I also teach the preschool class on Wednesday nights. And I've been doing that, I think, about 3 years. I was trying to remember back because I started a little bit before the pandemic, and so we took a little time off, and I was having a hard time remembering how long it's been, but I think it's been about 3 years. And I really enjoy doing that. I love to teach, and the little ones, they just bring a lot of joy to me. And I enjoy the ministries that I serve in.
Yeah. Now, you don't play the harmonica anymore, do you?
I've never played the harmonica.
All right, yeah.
The only other instrument I have played is the clarinet, and that was back in middle school.
Classic.
I don't really remember much.
Yeah. Somebody the other day, I was talking to somebody, and they were talking about a bass flute. And I said, what is a bass flute? Is that just a clarinet? Like, is that what that is? I've never heard of it, but clarinet was kind of the go-to. I remember when I was in middle school and high school, and clarinets galore, right? I played trumpet. So. But what would you say to somebody who's listening to the podcast? They're driving down the road today. They're on the way to the grocery store, or they're going to work or home, and they're listening to the podcast. Just a word of encouragement for them.
So I've been thinking on a scripture that you shared in a message a few weeks ago from Colossians chapter 1, verse 17. and it talks about how I'm gonna read it so I don't say it wrong, but it says He is before all things, and in Him all things hold together. And you talked about how those words "hold together" mean that He sustains. And the Lord just really been speaking to me over the past few weeks about how He is my sustainer. And when I try to take control and do things on my own and think I've got it figured out, and try to hold it all together myself, He reminds me that I don't need to do that, and that He's the one that holds it together, and He is my sustainer. And it reminded me of a song that talks about the faithfulness of the Lord and just remembering how faithful He is. And one of the verses says, "My liberator, my life sustainer." And it just made me think, it is liberating when we let Him sustain us. It takes all the pressure off. It's freeing. We don't have to worry. We don't have to try to do it on our own. So just hopefully that encourages someone today.
Sure, because the truth is, I think a lot of people's lives are falling. I don't know if it's ever in our hands anyway, right? But coming to that moment and that realization, as a Christian, He's got our lives and the freedom, the liberation. I thought you were going to bust out singing for just a moment. But just that freedom of going, I was never in control anyway. You are in control though. And you've got this. It probably reduces anxiety, stress, so many fears. Because I know from everything you shared here, a lot of that centers around children, futures, the world that we live in, and going, you've got it, Lord. You've got this. And it's a beautiful passage, and it's a beautiful God that says, yes, I will sustain you and take care of you. That's good. So thanks for being on the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me.
You did great. You were nervous, but you did fantastic. And if you're listening to the podcast, be encouraged by that. The Lord sustains you. And maybe you can raise up an army of your own family and your own children or grandchildren. And I know that the Lord longs to do that and wants to do great things in your life. So thanks again for being on the podcast today.
Thank you.